Hello and welcome to episode 4 of our Timberborn 1.0 full release Folktales playthrough here in Cycle 3, Day 15. We are right about to start a drought, and we're in an okay spot in terms of most things. Water's not looking too hot. We got 26 total beavers including the kits, and we only have 265 water. However, we have plenty of fresh clean water all the way around here to about this point where it goes back up. And they're going to keep pumping during the drought. We're going to be okay, but we do need to secure a better solution long term. But there's other long-term things we really need to make sure we take care of before it's too late. And, of course, the big one is right here. This is slowly filling up with Badwater behind, and at some point, these things are going to explode. And that is going to unleash an absolutely apocalyptic torrent of Badwater all the way through here, and it's going to be real bad. So what I've been trying to do is get started on a emergency floodgate diversion system for this area over here. I don't know why I led with that. We're in the process of getting that done. And then also an emergency outflow tunnel down in this area. And that is one of those things we're going to have to take our time to get to. I don't know when this is going to go off, so I'd like to do it as soon as possible, but we're going to have to see. You guys pointed out a lot of great stuff in the comments. I always appreciate you doing that. And one of those was that we have a reserve pile of metal blocks over here that could be very, very helpful once we clear out the thorns in front of it. But we have, right now, a need for more beavers. We need to expand our population. And we need to keep gathering all of these science things and continue work on all of our diversion stuff. And it's only Cycle 3, so we do have time. I don't know how much time, but we do have time. Let's come back over here, get this on triple speed so we can get back into the daytime, and I want to talk about our diversion setup right here, since that has garnered a lot of comments, a lot of suggestions, and a lot of discussion just in general. Now the drought's begun, it's only 5 days, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to raise this so this can retain a little bit of the water that's going to be coming from here, and we can release this manually should we run out of some of this water. Remember that this is what goes into our main area, this other one does not. This is all going to be gone pretty quick. But while we're working on that, what we've done over here, or what I had originally done, was I said I needed one contamination sensor to open or close this thing, and I didn't know what other solution I could come up with. Well, you guys had some good advice, and between a combination of that and the live stream playthrough we've been doing with the Iron Teeth, where I can try and learn some of the automation things, I think I've arrived at a pretty good solution. We have this contamination sensor here that I have not really done too much with, but the idea being that this one would measure when the gates are going to open now, and then we're going to have a second sensor that's going to measure when the gates need to close. And for that to make sense, I need to put the second sensor, the one that's going to measure when they close, as close to one of these sources as possible. We've got a water source here. If we scroll down a little bit, we're going to see exactly where the rest of those sources are. There's one here, there's one here, and there's one up here just for regular water sources. This is a water seep, which isn't really doing anything right now because it can't go anywhere. But this being the closest water source means the fastest travel time for whatever is coming out of it, good or bad. And that means we need to have a sensor over here. I think I said that last episode, but then I moved things because I wasn't exactly sure I was going to be able to do exactly what I wanted to do. But now I'm pretty sure. So, this is going to come through here. I need to be able to place this basically as far up here as I can. I don't know if I want to have beavers climbing up all over this mess, but they can get to here. And this, I think, is going to do the trick. I know this is probably about where I had it before. But the difference here is now we can actually go ahead and unlock relays. And we can put a relay in that is set to be an OR gate. If you know anything about programming, an OR gate means that if either one of these inputs are on, the relay will be on. And so what that's going to do, since I have clean water right here, let me just make sure if I release this, it's not going to go to waste. I think I don't want to open this quite yet. So let's be mindful of that. So if this one turns on when the threshold is greater than 2%, which is not what we want. We want this one to be on, assuming... Actually, no. If on means high, which is how we're going to configure it, then this is correct. Meaning when this is under 2%, aka 1% or 0%, this will turn on and this will open the gate. So, if I have this guy, we can also just click on it. That means this is now going to activate, and then I have to have the triple floodgates instead attached to this. So the on state, again... Oh, I just did that backwards. Man, you know what? I sat here and I thought about how I was going to do this, and then I'm like, you know what? Ugh, God, it is what it is. It makes so much more sense in my head before I start actually trying to talk about it. But I want this one to be... I want the on state. I want the on state to be closed. Right? I think I'm trying to convince myself as much as I'm trying to convince you. On state needs to be closed, which means this turning on needs to be when the Badwater happens. So if the measurement is less than the threshold, this will turn on. No, this one needs to be measurement greater than the threshold, which I'll put at 2%. That will turn on. That turns this on. I also need to hook this up. So, wait, contamination sensor 3, where's contamination sensor 1? There is no contamination sensor 1. Anyway, so this is on, I think. I'm going to confuse myself even more. Which means this one needs to be set the opposite. No, that's not right. Or do these have to have the same... Alright, well, I think I've just confused myself. Let me check my notes. Okay, that didn't help. Man, this made sense in my head. This... Oh, God. This is much more helpful as a graphical thing than just words. But that's not how this works. So if this is off... This one would be off if the measurement is... Oh, God. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't spend any more time on this or people are going to get mad. But I do need to have that set up there so they can at least build this. If these are both set the same way, though, maybe that does make sense. Because I don't want this to open just because this is clean. This is measuring this space right here, which is going to be, in theory, the closest, or the furthest away. Oh, I can't even words today. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. Go ahead, yell at me, tell me I'm stupid because I don't understand what you understand. It's alright. That's how the world works. That was a joke, for those of you who don't understand that. Do I want to go ahead and get double and triple dynamites? Because I know I'm going to have to go down here. Well, no matter what, I don't need to have logs over here. Because I'm not going to be building any more. Probably not going to be building any more. I don't think. My brain hurts. I need to go away and stop doing this. I also want to automate the pumps, but we are pretty firmly not in a spot to do that right now. I need to get extract, so why don't we just do this? Mark both of these for removal. Because this is metal blocks, and it'll be really nice to have those. And then I want to get all of these things. That was something somebody else said. Is why don't you just go ahead and do this instead of spending your time having the beavers go into the adventure huts? They'll just get to this at some point. But we also really need to start down here. But I can't do it without having access to the extract. So come back over here, because I was going to do this in the opening, and then I forgot. We have access here to reserved water. So good. We've just increased our water storage. So that's looking good. We need more beavers. That is one of the big problems we have, is that we do not have enough beavers. So we do need to continue building additional lodges. I don't have a hugely great spot for that. Might as well just put one of those right there. I don't think it's a bad idea. So let's do that. Let's put a little rooftop on there, and everything else is looking okay. Don't have storage for food. I was going to do something about that, and then I didn't because I was worried about everything else. Okay. Let's make sure we can get across here. We are going to want to get these trees out of the way. Sooner rather than later, probably. If this is going to be guaranteed to be safe, then I think we want to keep some of these for the purpose of getting pine resin out of there. But this space over here, cutting these pine trees down is going to give us a good spot to put an emergency dam if we are truly desperate. And we talked about that. But just want to give these guys some sort of ability to actually continue working here. I don't think I can get close enough to get the rest of these down, but that's fine. They'll take care of that. They're working on this very slowly, and they're probably going to get injured. Well, that's why we have the medical beds. And I do have... we got 3 of those. That should be enough for right now. This has been removed, so I'm going to plant some more crops. We'll do sunflowers. I've already got potatoes. We don't have wheat processing yet. We probably should, and then we can put spatterdock and cattail down here. But I would like to get a little bit more in the way of population first. Carrots I don't think are going to be that big of a deal. Sunflowers really aren't necessary long-term, but they are an easy thing that don't require processing. Probably okay with potatoes. I know we've got a bunch over here. That should be alright. There's no power coming through this because, of course, there's not, but this would be a good opportunity to maybe look into doing some wind turbines and getting those hooked up. They can go underwater to a certain extent. I don't remember how deeply they can be flooded before it becomes a problem, and I kind of don't want to find out. So instead, I think what I will do... I don't have an extra beaver for this. Decisions. Well, we already know we don't want to put anything here, and that's going to be a disaster if that's the thing. So, since there's no power available, why don't we do this? Why don't we see? I know I can put something up here, no problem whatsoever. Well, it's also not going to be a bad tide. It's not going to be a drought anymore. So maybe this is actually what we're supposed to be doing. Let's put in a vertical power shaft. Actually, you know what? I don't want to do that. I want to have this right here, just on top of it. We know that's going to work. Then I can do that, and then I can do one of these. Just make it nice and simple. I know we're having these beavers build a whole lot of stuff that they really can't... really? One log. It's... whatever. Okay, they got it. Good. I should deprioritize, but no, they're just going to keep on keeping on. Okay, so now's a chance, since this is... oh, they haven't finished building these. Ah, yes, metal blocks. That's why we didn't have one of these yet. Yeah, and I can't check until this is done. Okay, so metal blocks. How are we take this up at triple speed? Do we have access? We do. So this will help us out tremendously. Now we have extract. And we have metal blocks, so they'll be able to do that. Get these things going here. I really want to have this finished so I can test it and be absolutely certain nothing bad is going to happen. This also is going to give us a good idea of flowing stuff. That's going to come up to here. That's going to pool. This will slowly go up. Yeah, within 1 day, this gets full enough to become a problem. All right. Well, since we do need the water, I'm going to open this up. Since we know it's clean, so it's not going to be an issue. This will give us a good chance to check and see if this flow rate is adequate for all of these sources coming in at once. And it looks like it is, but it could also be going up. I can't really tell. Yeah, it's inconsistent, but there's enough coming in from all of these different places that I would I would imagine this could become a problem depending on how the flow is going. Let's see, building underwater, 4 out of 8, 0 out of 8. Okay, well, we have the metal. Ah, they can't build this because somebody didn't put it in the right spot. I wonder who that was. Let's hit B for duplicate. Favorite letter from the word duplicate. And that's taken care of. I don't know why this confuses me so much, but I think I've got it. Hopefully. What's flooded? Okay, that was because this shocked the system here. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Alright, good. Good. I don't know why they did this one first. When I placed this... Oh, because this isn't done. Because it needs planks. Well, good thing we have planks now. That's fine. We've gotten a bunch of the science. It looks like actually we've gotten all of it, minus what's up here. Okay, this continues to grow menacingly. Anyway, I'm firmly convinced at this point that the 4 wide is adequate, and this is only at 1 meter below the max height, so we know this is going to be okay. Regarding the flushing issue that a couple of you brought up, I think if this is here, and I have this going down 1 level to get into the center, it should flush most of it out. Obviously 2 would be safer, 3 would be best. We might be able to do it. I'm more concerned with getting this a little bit more stabilized than I am with necessarily having the ultimate solution right here. I guess we'll see what happens. That's waiting on, of course it's waiting on planks. We really could use a whole lot more planks, and I know this is disconnected. Good thing we don't need gears, but should be okay. They still have not finished that. I guess we're bringing the metal. That's what this guy's got. That's fine. We'll be okay. Just have to let them do what they got to do. I do really like the idea of keeping more water back here, which we could easily do by just building another thing here and have this be a reserve. Somebody left a nice comment explaining, or maybe not explaining how to do it, but telling me that they would like to have a reserve reservoir. That's what a reservoir does. That would automatically release based on depth here. I don't think that's too hard to do. But as you saw here, this breaks my brain in the worst way possible. Now, I want to get down here. I don't have spiral staircases yet because I don't have the treated planks. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I just have to choose carefully which way I'm going down. Let's do... Well, I shouldn't use planks for this yet, right? That's going to go down to here. Where do I want to start? I mean, I guess it would be okay here. I can also use my dynamite to blast this down so it's a little easier to get to. Oh, we'll get there. Got a lot trying to think about here. Oh, someone else gave a good tip that I had somehow never known before. You supposedly hold down Alt and middle click where your mouse is. Yeah, takes you down to the level that that tile's on. That's nice. I might forget, but I showed you in the video, so I at one point at least knew about it. Yeah, it's still pretty stable. Okay, so this is off. And this is off, which means this is off. And this is not automated because I didn't... There we go. Oh, they haven't finished this. Okay. Okay, that's the way it goes. Waiting on 1 plank and 1 gear. Well, they should be able to get to it. We'll just let that be what it's got to be. We need to build additional water storage. Just good thing we had this one because I'm not making gears for a while. Okay, that's got no input, no output rather. That's almost done. That's waiting on planks there. Okay. Well, we're getting there. Okay, they've cleaned this out to some degree. This will get me all of those pine trees, and this one will get me there. That's fine. That's okay, that's okay. These are good insurance to make sure none of the beavers are wasting time not doing anything. Is this on? Well, it's off, but it's completed. Okay, so now all I have to do is have this be... I can't manually trigger it. But I can flip this. Yeah, immediately. Cool. So that does work. I hope that's going to be the right threshold there. 2 seems fine. By the time this gets pushed through here and diluted, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, we're working on that. That's fine. I guess this is our next really major construction project. So we need to have everything for the tunnels. So dynamite, which is already here. Extract, which is already here. I just need a storage for planks. So let's do a large pile. 4 planks. Set to obtain. And I believe, friends, tunnel time. So, a bunch of comments talking about how much water is going to be coming through here when this explodes. The volume of this is going to be extreme. I do recognize that. I think we can kind of, if I do this right, we can kind of test it if I remove some of the stuff here and force everything back through this way. But also just from a perspective of having enough places for the water to go when this does explode, I think we're going to be okay. Because this is all, just click on this, that is all going to be gone down to this level. That's going to hold stuff, that's going to hold stuff. But this level is going to have a tremendous amount of stuff blown wide open. I can't get through here until I get rid of scrap metal. And I think it's just going to make more sense to go this way. But we can tunnel through all of these last when we're done. I think what's going to make the most sense is to go to start 2 wide. That's 20, 26. So that's 52. Which we have enough. Make it 2 wide, then we can widen it, then we can get the rest of the stuff done. It's more important to have something than it is to have the perfect thing no matter what. So let's get that taken care of. There we go. Just want to make sure this has an easy way to go off the side of the map with minimal weeping or gnashing of teeth. And I think, yeah, see, this is still looking good. I also don't want to forget about putting this in here as a diversion. And the dynamite's going to be helpful. Double dynamite. Because I don't want to spend all the science on this. I mean, I have 2,300, but that's not going to be enough to do all of these. Regular dynamite is much more labor intensive to get all of this taken care of, but I think it's going to be worth trying to do this the way that makes sense. So I've got 4 wide. We probably don't need to go super crazy wide with the Badwater coming in here. But what I will do is I will... I'm going to get the single and the double. I think that's going to be the most versatile way to do this. Going to do that. We'll probably end up taking the stairs out, but I do want to be able to do all of this. Hopefully. So what's going to make sense, I believe, is to take this out, not dynamite this yet, but take all of this out, put the gates in, and then dynamite the back side, which we'll also have to do this. But this is a lot safer to get to while we're waiting. Okay, so these are good. These are going, which means now I can come in and attach all of this. Okay, we got 4 kits. I think it's about time for some more beavers. Let's do that. Let's put in beavers here. Try to use some of the larger houses. Obviously, we haven't done the triples yet, but we talked last episode a little bit about how the breeding works. And, well, there's no empty beds here, so I can't show you. But if you have at least 1 empty slot and at least 2 healthy, uninjured adult beavers, then you can make a baby beaver. Wow, look at him go. Okay, we're making good progress here. That is encouraging. to see this much this early. That is indeed very encouraging. I should prioritize these three so we can use the gears. Make some more storage for water. That's going to be important. Any other spot over here I can put something? Probably not right now. But back behind here seems like it would be a decent spot to put a tank, so I will do that. Can never have too much. Any more science we can pull up out of here? Outside of that, I don't know that there's much else on the map, if at all. Survey says no. And the mute button says, yes, I do work when you have to sneeze. Thankful for that. Let's see. Yep. Making our way over here. I'm feeling good about this. Unless it happens during cycle 5, which I don't think that's happening. But you never know. And we're making metal on our own. Yes, we are. Okay. That is full, and it's going to need some more storage. Plank storage there is fine. We might as well. I know we did just talk about having that other stuff there. I'm just going to put more metal storage here. Okay, drought approaching, so no bad tide in cycle 4. We're making progress. We're getting things going, and I do want to get more beavers, but I don't want to explode population necessarily, like some of you suggested. Not sure that's a great idea. I also don't necessarily want to babysit this. But quick tip, if you didn't know, you can delete these platforms and get the planks back. As long as whatever's above it is still supported, you can have a maximum span of 3 meters, 3 blocks between pillars or whatever. Or I guess on to... Okay, I did a bad job of explaining that. Terrain can stay 3 meters away from whatever the nearest support is. So I know I don't have this unlocked yet, but you see how it lets me go all the way up to 3? That's the limit. So in theory, you can have a 6-wide cavern. As long as the walls are straight, it'll support whatever's above it. I really hope that made sense. But let's grab these planks, because I know we need to have more planks. I want to make sure we're in good shape for this. Then we'll come back and widen this, and then we'll make it taller. Okay, now that is... Okay, that's a mistake that I just made in reference to what I was going to tell you. Because you can't place tunnels unless they have something underneath them. You see, I can go down here. I cannot go up unless there's something underneath. So... Okay, well, there's a couple different ways we could do this. I haven't necessarily made a huge mistake. But I was going to just have this go at the same level here. What we can do instead is, instead of doing tunnels, we blasted this out. We can just do dynamite to lower this and funnel it out that way. That's an option, and, well, I think I already kind of ended up making that choice by doing what I did, even if it wasn't intentional. Okay, they still haven't gotten to this yet. That's fine. It is what it is. But this is looking okay. I do think I'm going to have to widen this. Okay, oh, this is what that person was saying. The plank storage here needs to not be here. Get rid of these. Until I have to build the floodgates at least, but I'm not that worried about it. I just want, for right now, these to go away. I'm not going to get rid of these until we're already in the process of building things. I just need to make sure that they're doing what they're doing. And since we have a drought, not a bad tide, we're okay. We're looking all right. We don't have infinite dynamite. We don't have infinite extract that's already taken care of over here. We just need to be cognizant of that. This is looking good here. All right. A whole lot of comments I'm trying to make sure that I address here. I talked briefly about automating the pumps. Easiest way to do this is with a weather sensor, to where they just turn off during droughts and bad tides or rather, I guess, turning on only during temperate seasons. But we could also, like we did over there with the ore gate, we could have that turned on to operate during a temperate season, or when water level down here is lower than a certain amount, and then or water level. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. But it made sense when I read it and somebody left it in a comment. I was like, oh yeah, we can do that. And then I'm trying to think through the logic, and my brain just says, no, you don't get to think anymore. And then we just go from there. Okay, they're still not doing that. 5-day drought, not a big deal. We're about to lose power from the wheel, but we have wind turbines. Gravity batteries, I don't have a good place to put yet. They're not going to do any good just a little bit high like this. They have to be on a tower. Or they have to have a space to go down into the ground, but I don't think we're going to be worried about that. For right now, I think we're good. How are we doing down here? Making progress? Good. I won't have to do paths anymore for that. That'll be okay. Let's see. We've planted more stuff. Food's looking alright, but I don't have good storage. I just have grilled potatoes and carrots. So why don't we, since we have some wood, let's put in... where's my sunflower seeds? There they are. So now those are going to have a place to go, and then we don't really need berries, so I don't want to necessarily grant them too much space. But, yeah, I don't have anything else right now. Do I want to do... I'll do more grilled potatoes. That seems fine. We should, at some point, reorganize this so that this isn't kind of hemmed in by all these other things around it. We're going to redo all this. Don't worry. I just don't want the colony to die because of all of this nasty coming out. Okay, that's looking alright. Come on, lag. There we go. We've got this cleared out. So this seems like a good time since we have all of this right here. Seems like a good time to start construction on an emergency retention pond or dam or whatever have you. Yeah, putting it up this level I think would be best to start out with. I am going to build triple floodgates, even though we don't need them to be that high. Hopefully that is... I don't have a way to get down there. I don't need 5 either. I think we probably could be fine with 1, but... I will do 3. That seems to be adequate. And what I will do is pause this and this so they can walk out here. No, you know what? That doesn't matter. It does not matter. As long as these guys don't get exploded, we're okay. I'll just put stairs down here so they can get down in the middle, and then that can just be that. So in conjunction with the pumps, I guess I could try to explain a little bit of what I was trying to do. If this holds water prior to a drought, because you can program with a weather station. We can have 2 weather stations, one for drought, one for bad tide, both set to start, say, 8 to 10 hours early. They'd close these floodgates, pull up stuff behind them, and then as soon as that actually is over, then they'd open, let the rest of this out. Or we could have these connected to, guess what, an OR gate, again, and connect one of the inputs to the OR gate into a depth sensor here that if it gets below a certain amount, triggers this so that the pumps can keep pumping. I hope that makes sense. Obviously, we're still a little bit a ways from getting that operating, but I do think that is going to be a viable... Still nothing here, huh? It's going to be a viable option for us. And this Alt Center mouse button click is fantastic. Once again, I really should have known that was a thing, but you know how it goes. Let's get these planks back. 150 will be very useful. Get these picked up. Get this taken care of, and then I'm going to widen this. We'll go 3 wide. I think that is going to make the most sense. And then we can deepen it. I'm pretty sure that should be enough. If it's not enough, then, well, it's going to help. It'll get us there. Another thing that we've been liking to do is getting wood fences and putting them on the outflow like this, so it's like a little, well, like a grate or something. Does it really serve much of a purpose besides aesthetics? No. but it looks nice. So there you go. Come back over here. Looking good. Windmills are doing their thing. Yeah, you know, can't really be too upset about it. But now that we're about to have cycle 5, we're going to have a discussion about other bad tide mitigation stuff. Because now I'm pretty sure cycle 5 is the potential start time for a bad tide. It would be very simple, relatively, to come up here, blast a tunnel to the outside of the map, or just a trench or whatever, and have a simple shunt system with a floodgate. Bad tide goes off the side. Wait a minute. Badwater source in 10 days. Where's that? Where is that? Oh! Well, hello. I didn't know we had one of... Oh, that's just, this is so far away. This doesn't matter. Wait, no, it totally does. Because this comes up... Okay. That's going to make this a whole lot worse. Is there another one of those hiding somewhere that I should know about? Okay, alright. Well, I did say that I wanted to be surprised on what happens in this map. I'm a little concerned. That one hasn't turned on yet. This one has started. This is cycle 5, so if that starts in cycle 5, I would imagine both of these would be going off before this goes off, which gives me a little bit of hope. But also, if this goes off, and this goes off, and this is completely full by the time this detonates, oh boy, are we gonna have a time. Well, nothing we can do about it. Let's just keep this going. Try to get cleaned up. And hopefully keep the beavers alive. So we have that as a construction project for them to do. They're already in the weeds with all of these. What are the builders even doing? Okay, they're starting this. They're starting with the dynamite. All right. Well, that was always allowed. We'll just let them do what they're doing. They do have to go all the way across the map to get the dynamite and the extract, and that is probably something I should have done something about. Well, these are both piles, so that's not going to work. Is it worth bringing this stuff all in here? For the sake of all this other stuff we've got to do, I'm going to say yes. Just get this going with some extract and set to obtain. Prioritize that and let these guys do what they've got to do. Anyway, 9 days until that thing goes off. I really hope this doesn't overtop before then, because that's going to be bad. Yeah, that goes directly into our farming area here. And we really only have another 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles worth of height. Because that's what this all is. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Yeah, so the only way that this would ever possibly escape is if I blasted this, but that is way far away from where my paths can go. Okay. If I come down here, I could... If I wanted to sacrifice an intrepid beaver for the good of the rest, I could pop this right here and it could slowly start draining before the bombs go off. It's too bad you can't do tunnels delay like you can with dynamite. I guess that gives us some stuff to try and do when we're figuring out how bad things are going to be. Anyway, this is ready to get beaver boomed. I do want to... Yeah, I'm going to leave the stairs there, but I do need to take these out. And I need to, in order to have the 4 wide that I think we're going to need, I need to be able to get down in here. So I do have to leave this alone for the time being. At least this stuff is right here. That should help substantially. Then I need these to be doubles. And then here, these can be singles. Once we get all the rest of this taken care of. I'm hoping this is going to go well. Somebody else said we should try to get the observatory as fast as we can. That is a good idea. We don't have pine resin yet, so we will need to get that going first. Let's put a tapper shack in. I did say we're going to do that. That is not the tapper shack. I must have scrolled or something. This is about the only spot I can put this right now, and I think that's going to be okay. So let's do that. I'll need a storage for pine resin, and that... I was going to put a powered building here. So let's just put this behind. Give these guys something to do. There's no reason not to do this. And then I have 1,000 science left. This does require power, but we do have a decent amount of power available. I just about have all the materials for it, and that would be great to have this early game, so let's do that. Power-wise, though. Power-wise, it's not going to be great. This will be flooded if I put it here. I could... How many gears? Alright, this is going to be probably kind of dumb. You guys might not like it, but... Did I delete? No. I'm going to put it right here, just for the sake of what we're attempting to do. After I... Oh, you absolute fools. Alright, here we go. Here we go. We're chasing this garbage again. I just need this to be in some sort of accessible spot. There we go. The more places you hide, the fewer places it can go. Never miss a shave and haircut. Can take away there. That should be fine. That is... No, that's not... That's one log. Alright, don't care. Goodbye. Not going to spend any more time waiting about that. That's going to go there. Then I can put gears here instead. That will work. I believe that will work. I should say. Alright, how are we doing? How are we doing over here? Yeah, come and grab all this stuff. I think they're probably all over here focused on our diversion tunnel. Let's check that out. Yeah, this is in a line behind most everything else. I don't think this has gotten anything yet. These are going to be gone in 10 days. They'll pick them up. Probably. Not really worried about that right now. Do these guys have anything else to cut down? No, they do not, because I was trying to save these trees. Well, we have extra beavers anyway. But what I will do is hit pause on both of these. They can go do something else. Because when the... Where is it? There we go. When the observatory, if I can... There we go. It's going to hire 4 beavers, so when that's gone, we do need to have those extra guys. Okay, we've got 4 empty beds. We're doing okay right now. Those are marked for cutting. That's in range. These guys... Oh, there's 2 trees over here. Maybe in the next 4 days, this won't be done. In fact, I'm going to leave this one levee. What's the range of this? Oh, that only goes out to here. Well, in that case, we'll cut all these trees down. They're already fair game. That should be in range of this guy. Oh, well, okay. There's going to be one tile gap. That's fine. This guy can help. This is going to be how long? Oh, this one's almost done. Good. We can cut that down. And that, like I said, is going to be 4 days. We're looking all right. We need more food storage. I know we're working on it. We're getting there. Okay, they're not going to have that done for a while. What about over here? All right. I really should just prioritize this so I can stop thinking about it. Just get all this done. That should be okay. I do have to do the doubles on these pieces of land after this gets detonated. I think that's going to be the best way to go about it. Let's just make sure these guys can get this taken care of. And then we will examine what our next steps are. This staircase no longer needs to exist. This can be Why would you do that? Oh, for crying out loud, man. Alright. New plan. God, I'm gonna lose it. This is stupid. I no longer care. I wish there was a way to control which way this went. I know there's probably some archaic, like, eldritch programming reason from, like, 1965 or something that happens, but I don't know what it is. Now I gotta get somebody in here to do that, but at least we're looking okay. Should be able to reach most of the rest of this once that's taken care of. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. And then I do want to test this if we can before we have a bad tide. But we won't know. Oh, that's the first one. Okay. Okay, I was about to be very scared that was about to go off. Alright. Can you tell these maps have hurt me before? K for kaboom! There we go. Now this one can also receive its double dynamite. Now before I do this, we're going to prepare. I am not about to deal with losing all this stuff absolutely everywhere. It's going to make me lose my mind. Good enough. Alright, now this needs to be a priority. Come over here, blast this. You know, actually I can set all the rest of these off. K for 2. They can set that. And there we go. Just need the extract. There it is. It's done. We can also hit G6 for kaboom because I had to reprogram. There we go. K for kaboom. Mistakes were made. I forgot about that. Alright. Oh boy. Oh boy. The things I end up accidentally doing. Alright, well, on the off chance that we're going to have a bad tide this cycle, I do want this to be operable. So let's make sure we can do that. Let's get these guys coming on over here. I do have to put that in place so we can walk around to the other side. They can't get to this until that's in. But these are ready to go, so I'm going to hit K for the boom. And we're going to start the process of putting in some floodgates that we will then also automate to the relay. In fact, let's do that now. Alright, so except when these are off, or when this is off, we want this to be 3, and when it's on, we want this to be 0. So that flops around. Okay, so this is done. K for kaboom. Then this last floodgate goes here. Now that's kind of the easy part. Now the rest of this, we have to be able to blast this out. Singles, and of course those. These doubles, and then these singles also. I just want this level to be the same, so if we click here, yeah, that's gonna take care of it. That's gonna be just fine. And then I can do single, double. I just want this to flow smoothly in here without any sort of nonsense, and then all of the bad water can be flushed before this opens. Boy, I sure hope this works. Let's prioritize this. Floodgates, and then also all of these. Now this can be, hopefully, since we're going to have a decent amount of planks and logs over here, let's just make these obtainable. Hauling post is here. Okay, we got 5, that's enough. That'll be fine. Let's just get these guys in here. I'm going to time-lapse just a little bit to get these floodgates constructed. Of course, if something interesting happens, I will, of course, end the time-lapse and talk about it, but I think we're going to be alright. Okay, so we have a drought coming up in less than 1 day. It was not a bad tide, so I figured we didn't need to worry about it. But the floodgates are done. The relay is not going to do me any harm to flip this to show you. It does exactly what I want it to do. Working great. But we have 5 flooded buildings, and I don't know what that could be about. So apparently I'm just dumb. Like, irrefutably. I forgot about this. Yeah, they can't do anything about that. That's 89%. That's 19% regrowing again. That shouldn't be. Okay. Well, I literally said this is what I wanted to have over here. And then I built it. And then I was surprised when bad things happened. So, it's... it is what it is. At least that's taken care of now. That is probably now the top priority, get that done. And then that'll retain a little bit of water for us. Provided they can do anything about this. Let's get these working hours up to 18. And by 18, I mean 20. So I do want to have water stored here. Alright, so they've got 8, they've got 10. Does this guy have... Dehydrated? Take a drink! The entire world is full of water. You're not... Okay. I know the pumps filter the water. That's the in-game reason. But do you have any idea how ridiculous that sounds? Now, this is going to be... That's going to be an interesting problem here. I need to check on my builders. Okay, they're over here because I told them that was an important thing. Okay, what are you? You're carrying nothing. Why? Are you on your way back from somewhere? Like, what are you doing, man? Come on. Okay, you're done. Oh, you have 2 logs. You will be the one to save us all. By save us all, I mean save my pride, which, not necessarily a great thing to be proud of, but at least this is mostly good. I didn't get to automate it yet, but, 6-day drought. We've looked worse. This will retain a decent amount of water. And the way this is pulsating makes me feel like I should have done something else here. And that is an option. This is flowing back around. I could blast one of these out and then have a back entrance, but we're gonna have to evaluate what we're doing here. Anyway, this works. We don't need that. I guess we're just going to leave those trees alone forever. How is progress on this? Okay, it's looking all... Oh, no. All these planks are going to go away. Well, I think we missed the boat on that. I keep forgetting they won't just automatically come get this unless you tell them to. Oh, well, who wants to see a whole bunch of material get completely wasted because I didn't pay attention? You're about to see it. It's going to all disappear. And a wave from left to right. Or maybe all at the same time. Yep, there it goes. This is what it is. We have plenty, so it's not that big of a deal. And it's about time for us to end this episode, too. Well, this is a start. It is certainly a start. Let's give ourselves a little bit of insurance. Take these out. Take these out. That should allow more flow to come through here. Shouldn't require us to go through thorns. We will we'll see what happens. And we're looking okay. Now, the thing I don't fully know how to do from what I was saying earlier about using this automated to the level in here. You know what? I should have done that with a fill valve and not floodgates. That would have been the smart way to do it. If you have already left a comment that says I should have done it with a fill valve slash technically not a sluice, but basically a sluice, you win a prize. The prize is absolutely nothing but the self-satisfaction that you were correct and I was wrong. And they still haven't built this. My God, man. Get over here. Get over here and build me this observatory. Come on. They have done almost none of this stuff that I wanted. Oh, they can't do that without having the pine resin anyway. And I've got 10 extra beavers. And I am not doing well today, huh? Folktales also have the, where is it, the large water pump. I obviously don't have the materials to build it yet, but this is much more efficient, and we're going to be migrating to those eventually. For now, though, we do need to have more water. I can kind of do this to make that a viable thing. Just put in a couple more of these. And as this goes down, then yes, we will have to replace this with a throttling valve. Fill valve, not a throttling valve. What am I even on here? It's just such a shame because I do like these. They look cool. And now that they're automatable and they have the increments of the 0.05 or whatever, they're really, really useful. Well, in the spirit of, you know, attempting to actually have something good happen, let's refill this manually because, of course, try to get this down enough where if I remove this to put a valve in, then it's not going to be the end of the world. Plus, you know, we need to keep pumping. This one does. Get down to 1.3. Remember, there's a lot more water back here than you think there is. But it's not like a ridiculous quantity. It is also going to go immediately down the drain. I do recognize that. But it's also only 2 days left. This is the best way to experiment with this on normal mode so you don't, you know, place your beavers in mortal danger. I'm going to feel mostly fine about this. Okay. So down to 1.0. That's fine. Back up to this. Now this level is close enough where it's not going to matter. Yes, I'm going to leave both of these in. I don't really have a good reason as to why. Except maybe personal pride, but as we've discussed, not really much worth being proud of here. Alright. Now I get the chance to put this in. Fill valve. Set to target height of, let's say 0.8, but we can also disable this. That is an option. We can disable this during a temperate cycle and rely on the overflow from this to fill it up otherwise at 1.9. I think this is probably the best way to salvage my my mistakes here. Weather... Oh, of course, this needs the treated planks that we don't have yet. Well, we're going to. And we do have pine resin now. We've finished that. We've got our beavers, and we've got the power. We've got, yeah, we have something. We have something we can be pretty happy with. We do need to move these things over here. I don't have 800 science for this yet. Okay, that's going to be a next episode thing, because we're already at the end of this one. But I suppose... Oh, that was the pause key and not the 1 key. I suppose we can go ahead and remove these things. Yeah, I definitely didn't need that to still be getting stuff in here. Yeah, let's get these things emptied out. Let's move a... let's move a bunch of this stuff out of here. I need that to be... No, you... Alright, I don't care. Goodbye. Cannot live my life in fear of losing 5 planks. That is absurd. Get these things out of here. That's going to have to go there. That's a double. And of course, we'll have to do all of this. Why does it always go to the spot I don't want it to go? I'm going to lose it. It is what it is. That's empty. Oh, God. I'm going to stop. Just stop. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. K for kaboom. That becomes a double. I do not believe they're going to get this done before the start of this next cycle here, and I am in trouble for keeping on task, so... Yeah. Mess of an episode. I do apologize for that, but you know how we do things here. I don't take out mistakes that I make. I don't sugarcoat whatever. It's just whatever happens when I end up doing whatever I end up doing. So that's basically it. I do want to make sure that this gets removed before we go too much further. So now's a good time to do our end of episode stuff while we wait. I appreciate you guys watching these, leaving helpful comments, constructively critical comments, so on and so forth. I always read them. I assume if you're sticking with it at episode 4, then you've made it past the initial filter of people who somehow come across my videos and get irritated that I'm not like a generational genius mastermind at this game. So I do appreciate you being here and understanding that it's more important for me to be authentic in these videos than it is for me to be right. I do very strongly believe in that. And I am going to very much look forward to what else we can get ourselves into. We don't have to worry about this right now. But I did want to make sure this was pretty much all good to go. We can come back to that later. So let me know your thoughts about the automatic fill valve situation here. Because I am very interested to hear what you have to think. I think it's going to mostly solve our problems. But of course, there's always a possibility that, you know, I made a horrible mistake. And I'm going to regret it. So let me know your thoughts. This is going very well. I'm pretty pleased with the amount of progress that's happening here. Obviously, these could go off this cycle. We don't know. And the amount of Badwater is... it's building, and we only have 3 blocks of height left. So we're going to see. But yeah, I'm out of time for this. I really appreciate you guys watching these, like I said earlier, especially the beard boosters who support the channel financially and make it so I don't have to take sponsors. For products and services you neither want nor need, and ones I really don't want to endorse just to keep the lights on. So you guys fund everything here. I always want to make sure that it's stuff that you're enjoying seeing, and most importantly, that we retain the honest authenticity that I've always tried very hard to put on YouTube, because the world needs more of that. But you already know. You've seen the names on the screen. You recognize all these folks, whether they got the memberships from themselves or they received it during one of the live streams as a donated membership. You're all very important to me. You make it so that we can do all of this, and I'm always going to be thankful. So whatever it is you do with the rest of your day, whether you're on that list or not, stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon for more beavers. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.